Welcome in, Lucky Lefty Podcast. This is our special spring practice preview as Notre Dame is set to begin spring practice tomorrow down in South Bend. We are brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. And Left, if you're going to drink, you might as well do it
responsibly.
Let's get it, Left. Lucky Lefty Podcast. As you can see, we got the big bro in the building. None other than Reggie Brooks. Right here at Lucky Lefty Podcast. He's going to join us for our spring practice preview, as always, brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, SD2 mics, MALIK ZAIRE, the original Lucky Lefty himself. He has somebody in the quarterback competition donning his number. You know what I mean? Right. The 8 is back, right, baby. The 8 is back in the quarterback competition. Of course, we're going to talk about the quarterback competition. I'm sure Big Bro Reg wants to talk about that offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
Wants to talk about how it's going to look, even with the non-participants. It's going to be very important. He's going to give you the keys to what that offensive line needs to look like coming out of the spring. We're going to go to the defensive side of the ball, answer some of those questions. Then we're going to talk about leadership and what needs to change. Leadership and what needs to change, or what players need to grab the reins. You already know, subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. It helps with the views. Leave your comments and questions because we respond to all. We are the home of the misguided passion. And Left, you already know, we are committed to making sure we spin it.
Yeah.
Only as lefties can. Oh, Reg, we haven't talked to you. Wait, first of all,
it's been a minute.
Do you have the bad taste of January 20th out of your mouth yet?
Oh yeah, I mean,
okay.
You look at again. I was at the game. It really, to me, if there was a way that they could have stopped that last touchdown in the first half and gone in 27-14 down 14-7 versus 21-7, I think that would have made a big difference. I mean, they came roaring back. I really thought the defense struggled. I was a little, again, they struggled with a lot of the movement, which was, especially with the secondary. I was really kind of surprised that they had, that type of success.
Wait, struggled. They only scored 28 points.
Okay.
What do you mean? They didn't score 28.
Wait, how much was it? It was
34-23.
Yeah, it's only 34.
No, you said only.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
We're talking about 34 points with a team that was putting up crazy numbers.
That's fine. That was our defense was our saving grace for the entire year.
Right there. Right what you said. Right what you said. Saving grace. If we had any semblance of a passing game and a capable quarterback in that area, it's a closer game because we're scoring points. Yeah. Our defense was on its heels the entire time.
I think they were pressing. That's the thing that I'm talking about.
Yeah, why are you pressing? You're pressing because you're uncomfortable knowing in the back of your mind that if we don't stop them, we have no chance of catching up. That was the overhanging cloud.
They haven't done that all year, though. That was my thing. Why did you wait till that point to feel you had to do more than what you needed to do?
Because we knew the situation.
We
knew the situation. It was the elephant in the room. Oh, they're going to score points. This is Ohio State. They've been scoring points all season. They got all these people's names, and they've been rolling through the playoffs. We don't believe it's slowing down with us. It's like if you got Kevin Durant and he's had 40-point night the night before, he's coming with something.
I can't agree with you on that because me, when you've been playing at such a high level defensively, I don't care who comes in, who you playing against. You have to maintain that level of confidence to know, hey, we've done this all year. We don't have to be anything that we're not. We have to be who we are. And again, a lot of the mistakes were made with the tackling. That was the worst tackling I've seen from them.
But where was the backup? Where was the backup when you have a bad lacking area in something? Some other part of the team is supposed to step in for that situation, and it just became apparent when we were down three scores early. Everybody in the stadium knew. All right, well, I have never seen us in 15 games make a climb similarly close because we've never had to because the defense has been there. Now, like I told Sean and like I was telling us all season, there's going to be a moment in the season where the defense isn't going to be able to hold this ridiculous point total on these teams like we have. And that's not them not doing their job necessarily. It's just the fact that there's good offenses out here. And eventually, we're going to have to come to the table as an offense.
There's another thing when your things that you've done all year, you start to fall apart. I mean, I'm watching guys, like I said, they're overrunning, overplaying certain aspects of the play that put them in bad position. They were not fundamentally sound when they were in position to tackle. They were not fundamentally sound in coverage. I mean, it was just too many blown assignments that
they definitely had blown assignments. Absolutely, definitely had mistakes, but they were highlighted even more because you didn't get the same on the other side. It just wasn't. Hell, for a long stretch, we didn't even have the ball on offense.
After the first drive, Notre Dame ran 7 plays.
Yeah,
the rest of the half.
See, and that's not good. That's not good.
I don't disagree with what I said. Offensively, we struggle. We had to come in, but I'm just saying, you can't flinch. And I felt the defense flinched from the standpoint of how they've executed all year. I really feel if they just played the way within themselves, defensively would have been fine because it was a lot of plays that were missed, overrunning the gaps and not filling the gaps correctly, coverage mix-ups, and guys were, like I said, it just looked like they were panicking and didn't need to.
But we got to give credit to Ohio State. We have not played offensive players collectively like Ohio State up until that point, and that's the truth of the matter. It's like seeing that, you're a prize fighter fighting another prize fighter you haven't fought before. It's okay. He's a prize fighter for a reason.
And Will Howard,
Will Howard, we didn't give him anything to deal with. He was back there. Me, you, and Sean, we could have had a nice little day behind the protection that he had because we didn't give him any pressure, which is going to where the defense, once again, didn't play its best. But hell, that offensive line at Ohio State is still one of the top 3 offensive lines we probably faced all year as a defensive unit.
Oh, agreed.
So that's best versus best. And when it came best versus best, we severely lacked in the area in which they were really strong at. And that's what the difference in the game was, which is something we can fix. But also, I'm not going to act like the defense just completely fumbled on the game. I'm just
saying the first half, they were not the defense was accustomed to seeing. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that they didn't, get it together. And like I said, they started to play much better in the second half, which again, hats off to them that they adjusted. There was adjustments made, and again, there was some plays that were being made offensively and defensively that weren't made in the first half. And that's all I'm saying is where the unit that was our strongest had a letdown. I mean, those
they didn't play to a 17-point, shutout like they usually do. But let's be honest, Penn State had just cracked the armor for what, 28, 30 something points. So it's not as if the defense went from lockdown, and all of a sudden. No, we was giving up some points in the playoffs.
I'm not talking. I don't have a problem giving up some points, especially against a team like Ohio State. What I'm saying is, don't beat yourself. Don't have the mental errors and the breakdowns. Because that's what helped Notre Dame beat Penn State, was being fundamentally sound and not having the breakdowns to where they did enough to keep them in check.
But we also knew Penn State's true colors was going to show, and Drew Allard didn't show. And when he tried, and when we knew he was going to force it, he threw it right to us. So it's one of those things.
Yeah, but you got to actually be there when they throw it right to you. You got to be in a position to be there.
No, we were definitely there. But I'm saying like it was more on the lack of what Penn State had. I mean, come on, they pitiful in the passing game. It became a problem when they faced a team equally to possibly greater than. When we played a team that was equally possibly greater than, our flaw came out. The flaw came out because now you're battling a team that, okay, they can match you for what you overpower teams for. And the one thing Ohio State had us in that game, which we knew going in, was they could throw a little bit better than what we put on display. So it would have taken that 11-point gap for an area in which we knew we didn't have coming in. I didn't think our defense was going to hold Ohio State to 17. I thought it was just going to be you're going to have to get to the end. I thought if we got it to the fourth quarter, if we put the pressure on Will to win the game, I thought we had it. Because then our defense, being who we are, like we was in USC, would have came through. But I didn't think Ohio State wasn't going to score no points now. I'm not, because it's best versus best. And we don't have, outside of Xavier, and we don't have no, come on now, we ain't had no Alabama D-line now, Nick Saban era where they just controlling everything.
A lot of injuries up front there too.
Yeah.
And that was the thing about it. If you don't get pressure up the middle, with your tackles, you're gonna have some. You got it. They got exposed in that area. But I'm just a firm believer that when you don't let the moment get too big for you. And it seemed early on in that game, the moment was a little bit big. And I'm talking about on both sides of the ball. Because, again, the second half, and this is hats off to Coach Freeman, because they came back in the second half.
I don't think the moment was too big. I think we played a really good team. Oregon, the moment was too big.
The first half.
The moment was way too big for Tennessee.
The first half moment, again, that's when a lot of the mistakes were made.
But you come out with 18 play drive and the score a touchdown, the moment not too big. The moment is not too big. Come out with 18 play drive.
But again, it still comes back, like you said, consistency. You can't. Now,
it's an unusual drive that I think deflated a lot of the momentum because you're on the field 18 plays to get a touchdown. Even if you didn't score, it's like it was 18 plays. It just changed the dynamic.
And I think what's name was banged up too from that drive, and he didn't.
But what was our flaw about calling the plays the whole year? You gonna use Riley up, you forcing the game through him. And we were never successful doing that. That's what we were doing the first 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
We played a team once again.
What did they do? They said we're gonna stop the run.
They said they're gonna put a hat on him.
After that, it wasn't just him. I mean, they stopped the run.
Riley Leonard was out of gas after the first half. I was out of gas. He was done. First half, you saw him, he was like, the first drive, I wore him out. I said, oh, yeah. So, in my opinion, he got wore out early, which affected the pass game late and threw out everybody else out of dysfunction offensively. Who got going? There's no way that Jeremiah Love touched the ball 4 times in the game. There's just no way. let alone national championship game. There's no way, but he was out of dysfunction because we swore somebody made a call and said, hey, if we're going to win this thing, it's going to be because of 13. It was obvious. If we're going to win this thing, it's going to be because of 13. That's the biggest shame that I felt like we did in the game because that's what it looked like. I'm like, where is everybody's part in it? It's like we threw Riley the ball at the top of the key. We all went baseline. I was like, all right, go to work. ISO.
Jeremiah Love
like. That's what it looked like.
Jeremiah Love was not healthy.
Man, cut it out. I had inside sources said the man was ready to go. Matter of fact, let's think about it. It's a national championship game, Reggie. Let's put you in his shoes. You telling me you're not gonna be ready to go, even if you're hurting. Are you hurting for the championship game? Are you 100% for the championship game?
He wasn't 100%.
Let's say you the running back. You banged up, yes, but it's the national championship game. You telling me you not right that you can only get 4 carries in the national championship game?
Oh no, I don't know why he wasn't in the game. He was out of the game quite a few times, which was surprising to me. So that's what again. When I see that, if he's not in the game, taking the reps, then there's something else going on.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that brother. That brother, what was he doing right after the game? He was at every podcast, event, commercial, NIL, benefit, healthy, looking like LeBron on the sideline at Bronny's game, at Bryce's game.
It's a different dynamic when you're on the field versus being off the field. So
man, it's like what? So you telling me? So what if they told Jordan that Jordan, you sick, you don't even have to play the flu game?
Okay, sick is different from
injury. Banged up. You banged. You're not 100%. What Jordan say? Nah, I'm playing.
Yeah, and he played.
What you have to realize doing shows with this guy, you have to deal with.
Let him do his thing.
The LeBron comparisons that have no context to what the conversation is actually about.
This is football, not hoops.
We said mentality. We said Reggie Brooks mentality. Reggie Brooks, you get to the national championship. You go, hold on, you're the best player on the team.
There's a different dynamic. There's a different dynamic when you know that everybody's here to stop you. And that was Ohio State.
Stop number 13.
No.
The ball
come on now.
The whole point was to stop the run.
Ohio State knew if they stopped Jeremiah Love, the offense was a wrap.
Okay, let's be honest. Did Ohio State stop Jeremiah Love or did we stop Jeremiah Love?
Let me ask you a question.
I don't know.
Who got wait. When the offense was struggling against Penn State, who did they come out with in the second half to get things going?
Jeremiah Love.
Who did they go to? Okay, then.
But they didn't do it in the game.
That's who you need to stop, and that's who everybody wanted to stop. Penn State just couldn't do it.
Ohio State was looking like, where is he at?
Yeah, that's why I'm very hesitant to believe that he wasn't banged up or more injured than what he left on. Because again, you're right. He's not going. He didn't. I know he didn't want to sit out.
The man had no braces on.
Yeah.
So if you banged up, you put the brace on. If you banged up, you putting the brace on. He had no braces on.
Again, running like him, a brace is really restricted. I couldn't even.
If you banged up, it's not. It's banged up. You need it. Look, Rob is a great.
I've been banged up. I've been banged up as running back, and again, brace is protective, but you can't. He can't run like himself with a brace on. It's not the same.
Because he was fine. That's what I'm saying. He was good. That's why he didn't have it. He was good. He was on 100.
He was not 100. You really believe he was 100% left?
Okay, obviously not 100, but in the spirit of playing one game for the national championship, he was closer to 100 than not.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
4 attempts, we don't know what he was. That's what I'm saying. 4 attempts, we don't know what he was. 4 attempts, I don't know if he was healthy, hurt, feelings bad, whatever. We don't know what 4 attempts. And that's the crime that's the crime to humanity that we're addressing today. The fact that he had 4 attempts is the crime.
We have lamented all year, multiple games, saying, why is Jeremiah Love only getting 7 touches in a game. We had that multiple times in the regular season.
It was less than that, though. It was less than that.
That just didn't show up in the national championship game.
That was
he
not.
Never had a game with 4 attempts. Never. That's the crime.
Game with 7.
That's where we go. That's what for CSI.
He had multiple games with 7. He had multiple games with 7,
but never 4. That's the crime. That's the the math is like, that's
wait, no, you just answered your own question. See, Rez, he always slips up. You just let him keep talking. He always slips up. He always slips up.
It was a crime.
Did he not just say we came out and featured 13 on a 18 play drive?
Yes.
What does that have to do with Jeremiah Love? Because he was on the field. He was on the field.
That's the crime.
They were using him as a lead blocker.
You said he won't lead blocks.
So why are you talking about him and his health? That seems like
I never said he was healthy. I said he was good. I said he was good.
I don't think he was.
Reggie didn't say he was good. I said he was good. That's why I'm like, why has he got 4 attempts?
I don't think he was.
Hey, Lucky Lefty podcast. Let's move on. We just wanted to give Reg an opportunity.
We're not over. That's the point. We're not
get that
over.
Get off January 20th. Get that off his chest. Now let's move into what starts tomorrow, spring practice. We're gonna hold off. We know everybody wants us to immediately jump on the quarterback competition. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna make you wait.
Yeah,
because
if we start off with the quarterbacks, we never get off of it.
Right. That's a good point.
Somebody would never let it go.
Something that is far more important, or just as important. I wouldn't say far more, but just as important, because it directly impacts the ability of the quarterbacks to do their job. And that is something that, Reg, you want to talk about in this offensive line. Talk about what you saw last year from the offensive line, specifically in the playoffs, and then you want to talk about the leadership that has been lost and what you need to see coming out of this spring.
Well, for me, again, it starts with the offensive line. The quarterback is extremely important. That position has to be resolved to who that person is going to be, but it makes no difference if that offensive line is not playing together. So you're talking about right now on the roster, you got 2 juniors, a bunch of sophomores, and several freshmen. So it's not a lot of guys on that unit that's veteran guys. I mean, they're veteran from the standpoint they played, but there needs to be a cohesive unit of 5 that they get ready to play. Just like MALIK talks about the quarterback needing the spring, get whoever that guy's going to be. They need to get the lion's share of the reps. Same thing with the offensive line. That unit needs to get the lion's share of the reps, but together. And it's going to be critical that whoever it is on the offensive line that steps up and leads. And there's, you have your vocal leaders and you have your lead by example. And some guys, can do both. But that unit is going to be critical in how they structure it, because the offensive line is one entity. It's 5 guys, but it's one singular entity that they have to be on the same page of understanding what the guys next to them are doing. And the nonverbals are critical. You got to know what the guy next to you is going to do without even looking at him, without even hearing anything. Yeah, you got to make the call. Don't get me wrong. There's calls that are being made, but you got to have nonverbal connection with the guys that you're playing with for that unit to be successful.
So go ahead. Let's talk about it. Who is there or do you have an idea of the 5 guys that you would like to see that remain?
No, I mean, you got Anthony Knapp coming back. You got Wagner. He's one of the more senior guys along with Ashton Craig. But, I'm interested to see who develops at the center position, because you lost some guys, that were veteran guys, 5th year, grad guys that went off and went somewhere else and to play. So I'm interested to see how these guys that were injured, that these guys replaced, that the guys replaced that have left, how do they come back? How do they fit in? Because they were they had a starting five that was really young. And that, as I've said it before, I don't trust freshmen. Good people, but they're freshmen.
Would you trust Jeremiah Smith?
Hmm?
Would you trust a Jeremiah Smith? I feel like you got no choice.
I would early on. No, I don't trust any freshman out the game. Period.
I think they trusted him out the game.
Well, I mean, again, I'm not a coach. I'm not coaching, so I'm good. I'm just telling you.
How long before would you have played Jeremiah Love sooner?
Me, I would have played him sooner and more. I mean, that kid is special. That kid is special.
He played freshman year, didn't he?
Yeah, he played freshman year.
Oh yeah. No, but he played. I just would have played him more. But again, not the coach. And I know, Coach McCullum has a system of trying to keep the guys fresh, because you got to understand, a back has so many, carries in them. And to have that opportunity to play, guys want it. But, the days of the I formation, 25, 30 carries a game is gone. And that's a good thing. But I would, somebody like Jeremiah, would love to see him running the ball, 12 to 15 times a game, or touches, because I was, receiving out the backfield, but 12 to 15 touches a game, I think is feasible and doable with this backfield that they have. So I'm not a big fan. I'm more about production than I am about volume. And, you have a backfield now that can, hopefully, I know you want to throw the ball. We definitely need to throw the ball more. I will give you that. But it starts in the run game.
Jeremiah Love
need to see
offense. He needs a fit.
Yeah, but I said Jabron Payne, he's no slouch. Aeneas Williams, that kid, he showed me something. Especially I said the third down, and then the Kendron Young kid. So
you forgot about Jadarian Price.
Oh, he was no Jabron Payne was hurt. So Jadarian, well, I thought I said him first, because again it was love. Oh, well, I meant
you got about JD.
I meant Jadarian Price, because again he was, the yin and yang with Jeremiah Love. But you have a stable of backs that can come in, and I love the way that they're able to, because everybody gets like, oh, you got to get them lathered up and get it run. No, I need to see the offensive line get pushed, get movement, consistently get movement of 1.5 yards to 2 yards movement off the line of scrimmage. You do that, you're gonna get some running lanes, and you're gonna get some guys that can hit it. And we all know what Jeremiah Love can do.
And you're telling me right now, Reggie, that you would have liked having 7 attempts at a game. Go ahead, Lon. Go ahead, Lon. Come on, right now.
I said 12 to 15.
I'm talking about you. You, when you played, would have been okay with 7 attempts a game.
Well, if that's what I got, I'm gonna make the most of them.
No, wait a minute. All right, because you wasn't a 7 attempt a game guy.
What is? I mean, you take whatever you can get. You do the most with it.
I agree, but you would have hit that transfer portal if you was getting 7 attempts in a game.
No.
Come on, Reggie.
No. I'm not a big fan of, again, having gone through that process where, again, I didn't play until my senior year. If I could tell a running back anything, I said, don't be so quick to jump ship because you're not thinking you're getting your carries. If you're getting not carries but touches with the backfield like that, you're getting 10 to 12 a game. Maximize those opportunities. If you can maximize those opportunities, you're also saving your body for the next opportunity to go to the next level. A lot of these kids, they don't understand that now because, again, everybody is always whoever has the hot hand, keep feeding them. No, it's not whoever has the hot hand. It's run within the context of the scheme of the offense and maximize the opportunities you get. And when you're not out there, make sure you're looking to see, hey, what is the defense doing? And the other thing I like about this running back crew, that they're much better. They're pass pro. I like how they step up and take on the blocks. That's a critical piece because, again, this is a passing league, passing game now. So I'm all for that. But it's really, young running backs out there, make sure you're talking to your offensive line. Know what the calls are up front. Be aware of and understand fronts. Understand second level. Understand routes. The one guy that I think was ahead of his time was Marshall Faulk. I mean, his football IQ was amazing. You just talk to him for 10, 15 minutes, and you're just going to be like, dang. Because he understood the totality of the game. And I guarantee he'd tell you, it's like, man, if I didn't, he was really the only thing San Diego State had, but not having to carry that much of a load, I mean, your body breaks down. And you see these guys now, like I said, I'm not offended by, as I said, 10 to 12. I will say again, 7, I'd have been a little pissy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I've been a little pissy. But I was like, hey, if I'm getting in that 10 to 12 range and I'm making the most of it, I'm good. But more importantly, hey, am I setting up the blocks for the offensive line? Am I taking care of am I making the blocks and pass pro? That's what gets you to the next level. And again, the guy, Coach McCullum, he knew how to get guys to the next level. He knows how to get guys to the next level. And I'm kind of excited. I've not met him. I don't know him, the new running back coach, but I like, his pedigree is pretty darn good. I mean, he's had some pretty good ones that he's coached, in particular at number 26 that's in Philly right now.
I think you're mute.
You're mute.
That's a perfect segue to tease right this. So stay with us, fans, because we're going to get to the quarterbacks, but we're going to also allow Reg to break down film on a 4-star running back that visited Notre Dame today that they made huge strides with, that I think is the dude in this running back group. And I want Reg to tell me what he thinks about this young man, JAVIAN Osborne, visiting Notre Dame. No, he's still in high school. He's going into his senior year. He came in for a recruiting trip. Notre Dame wasn't even on the radar. They were behind Georgia, Alabama, Texas, all this. And from what we're hearing, they knocked it out the park. I'll give you one quote from this young man. He said, and I quote, "It's a possibility that Notre Dame could be my number 1 school. If not, they're definitely at the top of my list."
Wow.
That's JAVIAN Osborne.
Yeah. I want to get a gander at him.
So we're going to play that film for you, and we're going to let you break it down. Usually we break it down left, but we're going to this is the OG running back. We got to let him tell us, yeah, I see the traits, or, let us know what needs to be worked on. Lucky Lefty podcast. So before we leave the offensive line, Reg, you were worried about the guard and center positions in particular coming out of the spring. Why so?
Well, that's where the running game starts. It starts with the center and the guard and works out. If you have a center and guard that mesh well, that gives you the opportunity again, because the ability to control the tackles, that's where the running game starts. And everyone, like I said, just run off tackle. It's not that easy. If you're getting penetration in the A or B gap, it makes it a lot more difficult to get out on the edge. But when you have a center and guard that does a great job of double teaming, getting up to that second level, and they're almost, I mean, it's like to me, it's like a dance set. It's like ballerinas. They work in such unison. They're on the same page. They move. And again, we call them the big uglies, but those guys are the most critical aspect of the team. And when the center and the guard, they can mesh on a double team, work off without even saying a word to get up to that next level, it's a thing of beauty. And when you got guys that know how to communicate without talking, because again, all the conversation is done pre-snap. You get your calls in, and then it's time to go to work. But it's still a requirement to say, okay, hey, I'm not going to come off this double team until my center or guard has full control. And to do that, you got to be on the same page with that other guy to know, hey, he has them, I'm gone. And when you do that, you're going to get movement. People can say what they want. Again, there's some guys that are really good at defense tackle, but if you got a center and guard that can get movement, and again, 1 to 2 yards every play. If you can get pushed 1 to 2 yards, push them back 1 to 2 yards, it creates more of an opportunity for the running back to press the hole, and also puts more pressure on the second level to have to flow. So that's why I say center and guard, that those three positions are going to be critical for the Notre Dame run game to have success. And I'm not sure who do you guys know who called the protections for? Is it the line or the quarterback?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Pat Coogan.
Yeah, that's what
protections at center.
He did when he was in.
Okay, because that was the thing with, if you got a center that can call protection to come off and boom, snap and go. And another thing, again, guards and center, the ability to pull. I'm a big believer in powers, counters, traps, beautiful, but they have to be orchestrated like a symphony. And that's, like I said, offensive line, that unit is the most graceful, beautiful thing on the planet when it's working right. It's like a best symphony orchestra you ever seen. When you see it go, thing of beauty. So I will be looking to see how well those three mesh together and work together.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Let's go ahead and go to the wide receiver room. Right, Notre Dame went to the transfer portal. They get MALIK Fields, 6'4", 215 pounds, from Virginia. Very productive receiver that's put up back-to-back 800-yard seasons. He was also a team captain for Virginia. He was voted team captain, so he brings that leadership. And then you have Jaden Greathouse, who stacked 2 magnificent games back-to-back against Penn State and Ohio State, seem to be coming on. We expect him, with the passing game blooming, with the quarterbacks that they do have in the stable, being better and more adept at passing than the previous quarterback. We expect that the wide receivers will be able to put up a little bit more production, better numbers this year. Left, you asked the question, do we have a 1,000-yard receiver in the wide receiver room? A lot of youngsters are going to get a lot of tick because you have Jordan Faison playing lacrosse, so he's not participating in the spring practice. Jaden Greathouse, MALIK Fields is not on campus. Will Pauling, the transfer from Wisconsin, he will not be participating in the spring. So those are the veterans that you have, which leaves a lot of room for KK Smith, Micah Gilbert, Cam Williams, Logan Sadate, and some of the young freshmen to come in and make some waves during the spring. Scrap Richardson, the true freshman. What are you feeling about this wide receiver core, Reg? And then Left, I'll let you jump in.
Well, I something that Malik said last year that really stuck with me. the type of receiver that we're recruiting. And it seems like we've gone to a smaller, well, I mean, not this year, we got the kid coming in, but we've kind of been more in the smaller speed and quickness guys. I'd like to see someone that can go up and physically, take the ball. And, I want to see that, like I said, 6'4", 215, 220, and, can run. Like I said, the kid at Ohio State, that freshman.
Listen, that's not a.
I'm just saying. I mean, there are others out there. They got to be. I'm sorry, he can't be the only one. But I'm just saying.
I don't know, Reg. That's once a decade right there, Reg.
Yeah. So I'm just saying. Like I said, you're talking about again. We have some guys on there that like Jaden Greathouse. Again, physically, good speed. I don't think we have that outside of Faison, but I don't know if we have just a real burner. I'm somebody that literally will take the top off of defense. A Will Fuller.
They have.
I don't think
two kids that can do that.
Yeah, Chris Mitchell.
Logan Sadate can take the top off, and Cam Williams can take the top off. Cam Williams can definitely take the top off. He was super raw. I remember he came out with a lot of hype, great tape, knew he was fast. First practice, I'm like, oh, this kid, he in and out of breaks. He just, he has to learn the position. Yeah, you can be as fast as you want to be. Like, you don't know how to play wide receiver. Fans will say, well, man, just put him in a game and let him run a fly or a post every now and then. It's like, that sounds simple enough. But then again, the quarterback, the passing game you had limits those opportunities to be able to do that. So he gets his opportunity. Logan Sadate gets his opportunity. But they have some young guys that have yet to get the opportunity that can take the top off the defense.
That's the thing I saw last year. I didn't really see us go downfield. It could have been a multitude of reasons, confidence with the quarterback, receivers, not able to get off press or, get by a guy. But whatever it is and whoever it is, that's what I want to see from this, from the receiving core this year, is guys able to stretch the field. I do not want to see safeties sitting at 10 yards deep playing downhill. That cannot happen. If there's going to be any success in the passing game, you're going to have some guys that can get downfield and get open downfield. And that's kind of what I was referencing, that bigger receiver that has the physical tools to on the jump ball. More times than not, he's going to come down with it. But we've got to get some plays downfield to take the pressure off of the run game when these safeties start to creep up. If these corners are on an island, we got to go get them. We got to get over the top and make plays downfield, and in consistency downfield.
I mean, I'll even make it easier. We just have to be a threat. We just have to pose a threat that will be. We just have to pose a threat that we can go downfield.
Yeah.
Or have the capability. I thought we had the players to go downfield last year, but not the capability. So if we can hold the threat of, all right, yeah, they don't like to throw it down the field, but if we ain't gonna give it to them because they'll hit us for a couple.
Yeah, and that's my thing. You gotta take the shots. You gotta take the shots to force the defense to say, "Oh, well, I mean, they can actually throw the ball downfield." I mean, we did it on occasion, but it wasn't consistent. I mean, we should be consistently pressing, the 25 and further throws, on the dig routes, on the bang it eights, slants, to where the go routes to where we're showing them, back up. Because that, again, you look at that game against Ohio State, their safeties were never threatened until the second half when they were one-on-one, and you saw, the result of that. But that first half, everybody was playing downhill. They were coming, and it's like, hey, we're basically 9 in the box. 9 in the box. We're going to stop 4. We're going to stop 13 from running, because I've always felt that said when Riley when he's running, that actually gets him going. He likes that contact. He likes the physical aspect of it, and it helps his game. But you can't take them shots at that position and be effective.
That's where we had that crux of an issue at Ohio State. They beat him up. We couldn't throw it deep after that. It was bird in the hand. Bird in the hand. So with a guy like Kenny, for instance, and we'll talk about it, you have a two-way go. So it's not just you stop one thing, you got him. If you stop one thing, you still got to worry about this other thing. And that could go for, I wouldn't say for Steve, but for the CJ, has some potential as well. So that's the bright side.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing, like you said, Cam Williams, Sadat, see these guys step up. And, is that really his name, Scrap? That's really his name. Come on. Why
it's Antavius Richardson. His nickname is Scrap.
Why would they not put that on the – okay. Come on. I'm sorry. That just bothers me.
It's the man's name, Reg.
His name is not Scrap.
It's not. No.
It's not. Again, I'm old school, so forgive me, but I want to see the young man's real name on the roster that's on the website.
How is Scrap any different than saying Wallace? If they put Wallace on there, you'd be like, Wallace. It was Wallace. It's no different.
How is that no different? And that person's name is Wallace. His
name is Scrap. You don't like the man name called? That's what they call him.
But his name is not Scrap, and you know that. You know his name ain't Scrap.
And name not Wallace, but a guy named,
I mean, you know the name. What do you mean his name ain't Wallace? That is people are named Wallace.
If a guy had a name Wallace on there, I'd be like, that's not his name. That sounds crazy. That don't sound crazy.
You see what I have to put up with?
Oh my God. That is.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with Scrap because that's his name. That's what they call him.
Okay.
It's not a street name. It'd be different if it was a street name.
I'm not saying it.
Okay. If it was a street
when you click on it, it says Antavius Richardson. Why can't that just be on the roster list?
Because Scrap is way better. You want the fan base? Come on, Reg. You want the fan base to really be like Quantavious or how I don't even know how to say it.
Antavious. I'm like, okay. I don't have a problem with him calling him Scrap.
But I bet you fans will know him by Scrap. We're building brands here. This is an NIL thing. Come on now. This is an NIL thing we talking about. This is brands. You talking about Antavious. You can't brand that like you can Scrap. The fans gonna know him as Scrap. That's gonna get his NIL, man. You're not. Come on, Red. You trying to block the man blessings.
No, I'm not. I just want to have his real name on the deal. Just like,
The man can't build a brand coming in. See, that's that you don't trust freshman stuff.
That's true. It could be. That might be valid. I mean, because I don't.
Just the man name. Look, he don't even trust the man. That man, he had a plan coming in the college. He says Scrap is gonna be my NIL brand, and then he gonna come across Reggie, and Reggie gonna be hating on it. See, that's why you like, I'm just trying to get some money, man. You don't like my name, Scrap? Trying to build.
I'm okay.
Reg out here taking the man's opportunity,
taking the man's NIL blessings. What company going? Come on, man. They get it. He could be a part of waste management. Scrap Waste management. That's
Oh
a
my God.
$1 million deal right there.
This man NIL
Taking out
deals
the
in the
trash.
South
Look, he
Bend
got the
area.
sack celebration, taking out the trash or doing something or whatever.
Okay, let's stop this right now.
Lefty
Let us
podcast.
move on. Let us move on from that.
Well, let's move now. We have to talk about it. Last conference. Oh, what the tight ends? Tight ends just need to be.
Oh, whoa! Were you just about tight end? Kind of like
No.
You kind of came across as those guys.
Let me finish.
Okay,
Reg,
okay.
let me finish.
I got me nervous.
No. I was about to be dismissive, and I had to stop myself.
Oh, okay. Cool. We're good.
I had to catch myself, Reg.
Okay,
I respect all 22, Reg. I respect.
Hey,
all
I'm again. Anytime, like I said, I have a special feeling for the tight end group because they do multiple things.
Yes,
they got to block. They got to catch. It's kind of like the running backs. There's a lot going on there.
Jawan Sider said something in his introductory press conference that I never thought about. He said, I coach the only position that takes a hit just about every down. Whether you're running, catching, or blocking, you're going to get hit. Yeah. And I was like, outside the offensive line, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Constant contact.
Yeah. Outside of the trenches. Yeah, I was like, I never looked at it that way. But I want to get to these tight ends. Injuries have been the biggest issue. I know you don't trust. I'm going to just say this. I'm very interested in seeing when he comes in because he won't be in until the fall. But one of your good buddies, Legacy, hey, he's a dude at tight end now. I know you don't trust freshmen. But freshman tight ends at Notre Dame have historically done pretty well.
Well, I already told his pops. I can't trust him. Not yet. You
told Jim Flanagan you can't trust him.
No, he knows. Don't trust freshmen. But again, you got to understand, I was told not to speak as a freshman. We will tell you how this is done. You will listen and learn. And then when we feel that you've, done your part, you can have a say. But not until we give you that say. But I was, had, the Anthony Johnsons and, the Ricky Waters, my brother, Rodney Culver. So I learned from some dogs. And again, it's learn the ropes. And that's why I said I always appreciate that aspect of learning how to win, because you got to learn how to win. And the reason I don't trust freshmen is like, again, you come from high school, college is different. And again, you're going to have some that are going to come in and jump right in there and get after it. But be open to that process of learning, because you will learn, and be open to learning and understanding of what you got yourself into. So I say that because I can say that to Jim, and I can say it to his son, because it's like, hey, you have an opportunity. That's it. That's all you get. You get an opportunity. What are you going to do with it? So as a freshman, learn, get better, and maximize your opportunities. And like I said, you come out of again, I'm very skeptical of freshmen because they're coming from high school, and people can have some those great highlight reels and all that looks great, but I want to see, how did you handle that adversary that used to kick your behind? How do you handle adversity? Because when you show that you can handle adversity, when the pressure comes, you're not going to fold. You're not going to flinch. You're going to see it as what it is, an opportunity. So, and you can't, not everybody has that. So that's why I said, freshmen surprise me. I love it when a freshman surprises me because they have that tool set to come in and compete, and all they're doing is coming in to maximize that opportunity. And when you can do that, hey, you're going to be all right. But as far as I'm concerned, freshmen, they shouldn't even be speaking.
Boy, you're a tough customer, boy. You're a tough customer, boy. Tough customer.
I mean,
Reggie Brooks.
Just don't speak. Just don't speak until you're spoken to. Y'all got that when you're growing up.
Left, you could not have been a freshman in the locker room with Reggie and the crew, bro.
That would have been great.
Yeah, no, and Left would have been talking. He would have been.
I know he would. Yeah, I mean, hey, what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room.
You would have taken him to the goal post.
We didn't haze. There was no hazing going on. I don't know what you're talking about. There was no hazing going on. We did not haze.
Okay.
Football culture was better back then, though. I was still a part of that culture. The culture now is like,
well, everything is a highlight reel. I'm like,
it's not the best parts about football was never, necessarily the YouTube highlight reel. It was always the stuff like the
I wish we'd had
codes and stuff. You had to earn. We had all types. Man, it's different.
But what it taught me was the value of relationship. Yeah, because that's the one thing out of all that you get from playing sports. Playing and football to me is the consummate team sport. Is the relationships that I've built, the people that I've gotten to know. And again, some people I don't fool with, but the majority of my teammates to this day, they're still teammates.
There's just no more rank anymore in college football. It's just no more rank. That's why I'm like,
And you had to respect the leadership.
Yeah, it was just different. You just, you don't even talk to the best players. You got the seniors, You still
even the walk-on seniors had more, cachet than the freshmen.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's no more.
They put their time in.
Yeah.
Now it's just
like time in was respected. Yeah, putting time in was respected in football back then. It's not now. So that's what made me.
Sorry about that.
But the tight end position, as I was going to go into Red, it's in pretty good shape if they can stay healthy.
Yeah.
If you can come back with a combination of Eli Raritan and Cooper Flanagan as your top two tight ends, you're doing fine. You have James Flanagan coming in, and you also have Jack Larson being your third. And then you still have the veteran Kevin Bowman coming back, who's been there. If he can stay healthy. So health is going to be the major concern for that.
That's going to be critical. And again, I'm saying it right now, knock on wood. This is going to be the year that Notre Dame's tight ends are going to be the healthiest ever.
I will see. Hey, I speak that. I'll touch it. Agree.
You won't have a 1,000-yard tight end this year.
I think you'll have a couple 500s.
I think we get one 500. I really believe we're gonna throw the ball outside the hashes. I think it's coming.
So we said all of that. We're 1 hour, basically 1 hour into the show. I guess we can't avoid it now. It's the last position left on the offensive side. Reg, don't put your head down like that because you don't like quarterbacks. We know.
I don't. It's not that I don't like quarterbacks. They're kind of pretty boys. So we all know that.
Prima donnas, the prima donnas of the group.
Yeah. You can't touch them. You can't look at them too long. If you touch them, they might break. You just don't know. They're fragile. They're fragile people.
Left, you just gonna let them talk about your crew like that?
Well, Riley wasn't that last year, so
that's a good point. That's a good point. There's a lot of things Riley wasn't last year, but we won't go into that. Lucky Lefty podcast. Reg, I wanted to tap in because Notre Dame has had several quarterback competitions, whether it's injury or fate, that have gone a different way, and it turned out to be great. It turned out to lead to a successful season. You have three competitors This is supposed to be no. This is the biggest quarterback competition in the last decade in Notre Dame, because the last two, Riley Leonard didn't have anybody to compete with. Sam Hartman didn't have
Right.
anybody to compete with. So this
That's
is a
why
true competition.
I agree completely, and I
Yeah.
think this is going to produce a quarterback that will allow for this the unit to really flourish. I mean, if again, I'm not at practice. I don't know the dynamics of it, but I walked into the room, like I said, last year and talked to the quarterbacks. The one thing that really stuck out to me, and kind of with this whole team, these guys like each other. They're cool, and they understand how to compete. And and that's why I like I said, I'm a big fan of Steve Angeli because he's been there from day one. I'm a big fan of CJ Carr and Kenny Minchie because they've been there. This is the first time in a few years that we've not had a hired gun. So that right there, the synergy between the player, the quarterback, and the team, the quarterback, and the program, whether it's coaches, because you've seen Steve Angeli walk the halls, you've seen a CJ Carr and Kenny Minchie walk, and they've been present, and not just with the team, but with the ancillary people, the administration, the administration of the program, the assistants, for the coaches. They've been seen. There's a connection there. There's, as I've said before, relationship is important. And these guys,
first time in a couple of years where we've had a home cooked meal. We've been trying to go out and get Outback and Longhorn, but this is why it's special, because this was home cooked.
Yeah.
This you coming back home from South Bend, Reggie, going to your mom's house. She making a nice Brooks special.
There's a trust component that you don't have to create a relationship, quickly.
Right.
It's there. It's been nurtured. It's been developed over time. And it's nothing, and again, I'm not sitting there saying that, something was wrong with Sam Hartman or Riley Leonard.
It was wrong. Whoa. It was something wrong.
I'm talking about good people. I'm all for critiquing the play, but as for the type of persons that they were good people.
Well, maybe we don't need a good person. How about that? How about we get a
good person
with some edge and some charisma and some attitude? How we try that on? Because I think that is what we need in that quarterback room to build a face of the program. Marcus Freeman has done a great job of being everything for a program and what it needs. But it's time for him to pass some of that program off to the quarterback. It's just about that time. And I don't want friendly guys in the quarterback room. They too friendly. They need to be great co-workers. This is not an environment to be overly friendly. And I'm glad Steve got scraped up in these last couple years, built some calluses. He ain't talking friendly in those when they talk about the quarterbacks. He said, yeah, they're cool, but I'm here. See, I like that. They said, who can throw the best, Kenny? They all can throw, but okay, yeah. Let me just put a highlight tape on the gram. See, this is the type of competition that we need, because it can only be one. We know what's at stake. NIL deals, private jets, first round pick, New York. That's what's on the line. Ain't nothing friendly about that. Marcus Freeman has been eating it up. But Marcus Freeman needs to pass that off to his quarterback, because all the great teams do it. All the great teams do it. It's time for us to do it. And the good thing is, like you said, it's home cooked. The one where you don't trust nobody mac and cheese but your mom mac and cheese. You know, went to Boston Market, get some mac and cheese, wasn't that good? Steak 44, get some mac and cheese, wasn't that good? But your mama's mac and cheese? What'd you say? What'd you say got trust in it? When she throw that pinch, you know that pinch got the enough. It's all that she needs. Is the you ain't need no measure. You need to read the back of the box. She do that, and you already know. It's enough. That's what these guys have, a home-cooked meal that you can eat for a good amount of time at Notre Dame, that quarterback. Because it's a 2-year deal. It's not a one and done. Whoever's the starter this year will be the starter next year too. And they should be.
And,
without
Coach Denbrock mentioned that. Again, it's like I said, given the time that he had, it was only so much that he could get. Because again, it goes relationship. Having a relationship with the quarterback's coach, the offense coordinator, this person will have developed the trust and that cachet with the say, hey, this is what I'm comfortable with. This is what I know. This is what you see what I'm capable of doing. They know that. They know who Steve Angeli is. They know who Kenny Minchie is. They know who CJ Carr is.
No, they don't. No, they don't know.
They do.
They don't know these guys.
More so than the guys again that
we trust that we know about them. We know what they're good at, maybe, and potentially not good, but we don't know anything about them when the chips are pushed in and you're the starter. We have zero idea, which is the worry.
But again, you have more. They have a better understanding of their capabilities and the type of plays that fit them. You know how to call a game for them.
They don't know how to call a game for them.
They have a better understanding.
Call a game for CJ or Kenny or even Steve at this moment. That's a worry for Denbrock, in my opinion, because it's like, okay, I know Steve can do this. We ran a couple plays, but shoot, we ain't ran 60 plays. Yeah, I like what Kenny got in practice. He can do this and that, but shoot, he ain't never had to prep for a game as a starter. So I do think there's anxiety in that aspect. But like you said, it's a confidence thing, and you feel good about the choice you make because you know more about it. But at the end of the day, it's a first-year starter. It's no different than the higher gun, except you just have a little bit more information and have a little bit more time to work. Like you said, put him in that process. I think it's complicated because it's a lot of trust you got to put into a guy when the expectations is turned on. He don't got a year like these other two guys that we've had where they could just sit and take the ride. You just get on the train that's already getting there. We already got the destination set. You just on the train. Now we need a train conductor. So you don't get the luxury of passing off 2,800 yards and thinking you're gonna start the year after. That's just gone. That's out the window. So you got to supercharge and make the right decision because you know, where do you go making the wrong decision? You lose more footing, more ground, more possible chances for recruits.
But you also have a better understanding of how to make the right decision, more so than if you had, brought in someone else.
Who, Marcus Freeman? I think this is his first decision because he's got to put a stamp on the guy. Marcus Freeman, and when he goes down in Notre Dame history, you're going to have to attach a quarterback to him. Are you going to attach Sam Hartman to him? No. You're going to attach Ian to him? Wasn't there. You're going to attach Riley Leonard? I hope not. But
well, let me ask you guys this question. What is the failure rate connected to the quarterback decision? Because I think, look, I like all three guys. I think all three guys can win games at Notre Dame.
Yes.
Whether or not they can win a national championship, that's an individual conversation for each one of those. Is there a decision that could literally backfire and turn this next season or make it more catastrophic? And catastrophic, let's say a catastrophe would be missing the playoffs. Is there a decision that could be made that could lead to 3-4 losses and missing the playoffs in this quarterback decision, or is Marcus Freeman playing with house money, and regardless of which direction he goes, his team is good enough to pretty much.
Well, yeah, Coach Freeman will make the decision, but he's going to rely on the coaches, the offensive coaches, to determine, okay, who's the guy that can lead us and get us where we want to go on this for this unit. I just don't see Marcus as being the one that he's, overly, oh, this is my decision. He's just never struck me as that type of person. He has a confidence in the guys that he's hired. He has a confidence in himself that he hired the right people to make those decisions. Just like he has them. Ultimately, it is his decision, but I really feel that he's going to lean on the people that he hired to make the call when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, you picked the wrong one. It could be bad.
It's the end of I think that it's too much at stake. And I don't want to say the wrong decision, but the decision that doesn't work out to his highest capability. I think right now the team is at a 3 or 4 loss potential right at this very moment if we play the game tomorrow. 3 or 4 loss potential. Some of that due to a first-year starter quarterback. Some of that due to the fact that we don't to take that step between where we are and where we need to be in the passing game. That's a reach. Because we're talking a 700-800 yard difference.
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to – I would be surprised if they put that type of pressure on the quarterback.
It's the pressure that's needed to take the next step after a national championship. Right. And it's either Marcus Freeman continue that process of what needs to happen for the next season, as opposed to him trying to walk himself to that same point he's going to have to get to. The difference is the time it takes. Does he have enough time to walk himself to where he needs to be to get back to a championship? Because it's no different, I think the more consecutive times you can get close to getting a championship, the better you are of getting one, instead of getting close and then not sniffing another one for 6 years because you're trying to rebuild or take your time or whatever. I think he's in the window of winning a championship, 3, 4, 5. So he needs to be able to maximize whoever's in there to reach the goals that we need to have to win it. And that's without a doubt having a quarterback in a passing game that's over 3,500 yards. Because at the end of the day, the defense isn't last year's defense. If anything, it's going to be a little less than what we gave up the last 2 games. Due to restructuring, different, voices being heard, big chunks and players that are leaving and we have to reload. So the defense is going through its process of becoming something different. Offensively, that's the pressure right there. Like you were talking about the championship game, defense wasn't who they were all season. They're definitely not going to be this season coming up. But the offense is the common denominator. They're expected to take that step where they were rebuilding in a sense from last year to where, okay, now we got our guy for the next 2 years. This is about capitalizing in the next 2 years, because after this window, you're going to go through the change of having a whole new group of freshmen and 4-year guys. You're living off your first batch of recruitment right now. They're seasoned to win a championship 3, 4, 5. After 5, okay, you're dealing with a brand new batch that you have to season in a sense. That has to get that experience with each other together, this, that, and the third. Last year's group won that senior group won 30, 40-something games or something crazy?
Yeah, but you got to understand, the team takes on the demeanor and the personality of the head coach.
And the quarterback.
Head coach.
And the quarterback. For sure, the quarterback.
The coach defines the culture. The players define the identity. So, and the quarterback will be a key component to identifying what will be the identity of this offense. I think defensively we're going to be fine, just because again that's Marcus's bread and butter.
Of the team, though. Wait a minute. Of the team. Think of all the quarterbacks that were the face of the program / the team.
Okay, I don't get in all the face of program. Again, you don't have to be. You can be a good quarterback and not have to be the leader. And this is where, again, for me, where I think Riley, in
what space to win a championship?
You can win a championship with the guy. Again, we're going to talk about leadership, because there's aspects of leadership.
Stetson Bennett was a leader on a championship team. He was a de facto leader. One, he was the oldest guy on the team, but also a de facto leader. You can't name a championship team where the quarterback wasn't a de facto face of the program, face of the team. They all knew and got behind this guy. JJ McCarthy, 70 and whatever. They got behind him. He was the face of the team.
Okay, face of the team doesn't make you a leader. Being the face of the team does not make you a leader.
For the quarterback position, it absolutely does. Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel, Jameis Winston.
It does not make you a leader.
Lawrence, Deshaun Watson.
You can be the face of a program and not be the leader.
Not at the quarterback
who does the team follow?
Not at the you can't do it at the quarterback position. You have to.
You can't do it at the quarterback.
You have to be the leader if you're the quarterback in the face of the program. There is no.
Why?
Because I've never seen a quarterback be the face and not the leader. I've never seen it. Never seen it.
I've seen many quarterbacks that are the face of the school. I mean, that when they look, that's the face because it's the quarterback.
Brady Quinn was the face and the leader of that team. Right or wrong?
Okay, but I'm not saying, but that's not the only.
But as an example, as it relates to Notre Dame,
okay, BQ is that's I'll give you that. But again, he wasn't the only leader on the team, and he didn't.
No, not the only, but you can't be without. You can't have one without the other at the quarterback position.
I think you can have success because not all quarterbacks. I mean, again, there's leading the team down the field in play because trust.
So if CJ wins the quarterback battle, is he a captain by default?
The captain is a chosen thing. That's a whole. I'm saying the leader, as in where guys are respecting this guy.
I'm just asking because we're talking about leadership.
Yeah, we're
in the quarterback position.
That's what I said. You can have guys that are captains, but not necessarily the leader.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying. Guys can quarterbacks. They're the face of the program, but they're not necessarily the leader of the team.
We've experienced that the last 2 years.
Then what were you talking about?
That the fact that we need to have what I'm saying to win the championship.
I see what you're saying. You were saying
we've had
quarterbacks that weren't really part of the program.
Face of the program, but not the leader of the team. He was the exact definition.
The angle you're coming from now, I get it.
Okay, I see that point, but I said you were saying that you have, if you're the face of the program, you have, as a quarterback, you have to be a leader.
Yes, if you want to win a championship, absolutely.
I think you win a championship and the quarterback not be the leader necessarily. You can do that.
I think Ohio State just did that.
Yeah, because Will Howard was not. He was not the. I mean,
he's the captain.
Just because you're a captain doesn't make you a leader.
Well,
you can say that.
I was answering Sean's thing because Sean said the captain thing. And I'm like, they respected Will. I mean, Will was the face of the program with Jeremiah Smith. Like, Will wasn't a side character to their success.
I'm not saying he's a side character, but there were other people that were leaders of that team.
Right.
So I'm saying you can have the quarterback. That's what you can win a championship with some young guys, with a young guy quarterback, if they have strong leadership around them that I trust, the ability to trust your offensive lineman, they're going to do their job. to trust the receivers that they're going to be where they need to be, and you develop that relationship and that rapport with your teammates. But like just well, they didn't win a championship, but I was going to say what's name was the leader of that team, the center for. Well, actually, no. I mean, this last championship, I know Jalen hurt. Everybody would, but I would go as far as say Saquon Barkley was the leader on that team. Their offense in particular, not because of what he did, because of how people gravitate to him.
People gravitated to Jalen Hurts on the team. They had a lot of respect for that brother.
Again, having respect does not equate to leadership because, again, he was not the guy
most famous. But they
not called.
Jalen had the same amount of leadership and say so.
It's not
Saquon
about
was more outwardly.
Their attributes and characteristics of a leader that go beyond, people respecting you, people, looking you for direction, because, when Jason Kelce was the center, he was the leader of that team because Weston really didn't want it.
Right.
Jalen Hurts is the most, what they call it, the most by the book leader you can.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, it was kind of he was cookie cutter. He was doing what people expected of him. A leader does what's needed. And he did, he got there, but Saquon Barkley was the guy that made that go because he didn't just do what people expected him to do. He did what they didn't expect and he excelled beyond their expectations because he wasn't concerned necessarily about being viewed as a leader. See, your best leaders a lot of times are the guys that aren't looking to be the captain or the leader. They're just out there saying, hey, we need to get this done. Jason Kelce was the leader of that team because he didn't talk a lot. That's what I said. I would love to see someone on that offensive line take a leadership role to say, again, I don't have to be seen. I got your back. You be the face, but this is how we're going to do it. Because there's, like you said, there's going to come a critical moment that's going to say it's going to go critical time, like in that game, like against Ohio State. Someone offensively needed to step up and take control. That's your leader. They do what's necessary in spite of what anybody says or thinks, and they're also very well trusted by not just the unit that they're on, but the unit of Patrick Mahomes. He's viewed very highly, not only by the offensive players, but by the defense and by the coach. Coach is. I talked to some guys that said that are, one of our former players is an offensive line coach. He said, guys different. And that's, to me, that's where you find great leadership. It's not something that, hey, you're born with and that the people like to say. No, leadership is developed. It's developed in those difficult moments. It's developed in that hardship. And why I feel, again, you can get someone that can come on. I look at Tony Rice. When he came in as a freshman, his first time playing, Tony wouldn't say boo to anybody. But you saw him grow into that leader. This guy was a nobody. But he had such a personality and not boisterous and, hey, come like me, I'm your friend. No, he worked his ass off. And the guys watched him work his ass off. Not just on the field, in the weight room, in the classroom. He had to bust his ass because he was a Prop 48.
Right.
So he developed that leadership to say, well, I can count on this guy. I trust this guy. This guy is committed to my well-being just as much as they're committed to theirs. So to me, true leadership goes outside of the person in their own, what they're, what's good for them.
Let's talk about the actual competition,
yeah.
Reg, because you just said something that's going to be a perfect segue into like just laying it down who we think is going to come out of this thing at the end of the spring. You just talked about and gave a great example. Notre Dame fans, I hope you heard that. That's a great example of the development of Tony Rice that led to a national championship quarterback, right? And I've said this. We lack a quarterback development at Notre Dame, and the only true evidence of development at that position is Steve Angeli. He's the only one that was recruited, evaluated, recruited, signed, brought in. He has, man, I watched him throw in practice as a freshman in drills and throw the ball into the ground. I saw it with my eyes. Who he is now is night and day from who he was then. And he has worked his tail off. And Reg, to this point, MALIK, you said it. He believes everybody else can put restrictions on him. He believes that he's better than everybody else thinks. That's his attitude.
That's his attitude. Yeah.
Than what
y'all think of me. Yeah.
So for me, everybody else has expectations that someone else is just going to run away with it. I'm like, he is respected. He is respected by everyone in that building. And you just talked about how important that is.
Yeah. He is respected.
That's something that's developed. He earned it.
But he's earned something on a you overachieved level, not a you've arrived level. And I think that's why there's even a competition today. It's like, yeah, Steve, we commend you for being able to withstand a tough situation that many people would be upset about. You overachieved, but it's not, oh man, Steve, you threw 5 touchdowns and 400 yards the last 3 games. You've arrived. We're ready to see you on the next level. It's still a question of what can we get on a day-to-day basis. And not that he can't do it, but we don't know. And it's no different than Kenny and CJ, where we really don't know, but then it becomes, okay, that's it. It sounds to me it's all even. And as if it's all even, we're working on who is the best talented fit for what we're doing. And I don't want it to be a decision based on a necessarily seniority thing or what have you done in the past. It's a what have you done right now in the present. And so I think Denbrock, knowing how he is and knowing how he wants to see the position at its best, I think he knows what he's looking for out of traits to see who can start, because Denbrock had a Heisman winning quarterback. I mean, come on. He's like, who's playing at this level? Because if the guy's playing at this level, I know I can take you to X, whatever.
But what is Marcus Freeman going to be? You pointed this out yesterday, and Red, you can jump in as soon as I left. What you pointed out was profound. Who is going to be able to elevate the team?
Yeah.
Who forget their measurables? Yep. Who is going to have it that can elevate the team, especially in big time situations? Because, like you said, Red, development, callous, they went through that. They suffered disappointing losses under Marcus Freeman. This program, they've gone through that. And so now you feel like they should be on the road to taking that next step to ultimately winning the national championship. And whomever wins the battle is going to be at the forefront of that. But what ultimately do you think, or both you guys think, is going to decide this? What is Marcus Freeman really looking for? Is it simple? Is it just physically making the throws? You guys are talking about being accurate, doing all of that. What if everybody is accurate? Like, what if everybody's accurate? What is going to be the determining factor? Like you said, if it's close,
It'll go to Steve. It'll go to Steve if it's close. I think, but the more positive note is if Kenny can overcome what we feel already known about Steve, that Steve is the bar setter of, okay, this is the floor. If all else fails and we just got Steve, we can get a certain distance. But if Kenny or CJ, Kenny more so because he's in that position of being there long enough, if he can supersede what we think from Steve by making plays, providing a consistent energy and a feel to the team, because sometimes it's overtime. You're like, okay, he's had the ones, whenever he was with the ones, things just happen. Either it was big plays, either it was good execution, either he, made it look different. These are the things Marcus Freeman is going to have to pay attention to, not necessarily the X's and O's, because in a good way, he's not succumb to the numbers. Gino Gadouli's going to be like, okay, he was 10 for 14, and the other guy was 13 and 17, and he's going to do all that. Marcus Freeman's going to use it on the field. Who is the team reacting to more of in drive situations, and who's making the bigger plays in these moments, and who's providing enough energy to where the team is playing at a higher level, which is good because all of it is distinguishable. I don't think it's going to be like, oh, he threw 7 passes complete, he threw 8. I think there's a distinguishable feel to when a quarterback is running the show in a competition, as opposed to like we're doing it based on an analytic thing or a number thing. So the pulse of the team, I think that's what they're really competing over, because you'll always get better on a technical and all of that, because it'll be game plan. Your game plan. All of this stuff right now is unscripted in a sense.
And you also got to look at, again, you're going to have someone that hopefully, knock on wood, all 3 of those guys get through the entire spring. That's huge.
There's only 10 practices, right, or something like that?
No, it's 15.
Oh, okay.
But again, it's going to be, like you said, get through the practices. But the other piece is, like I said, how, again, they can't watch but they're going to be looking to see how the team responds to them off the field. Again, if all things are equal, again, analytics, numbers, this and that, what is the relationship with the players once they leave the field? That's the team will tell you. And I like how Coach Freeman has the leadership council, again, they talk. And and you have defense and offense and special teams communicating. And they're talking about the team dynamic beyond the field. Because and Left, you can test this. If you have someone that you got issue with, you might want to go across. You've seen where guys kind of don't want to take that pass across the middle. But for a guy that you trust and you believe in, you're going to go get it. Wherever it is, you're going to track it down. You're going to do just a little bit more for the one that you believe in. And that's what it boils down to. Who will the team gravitate to? Who will they believe in? Not just on the field, not just in practice, but in the weight room, in the dining hall, out hanging out. And I say this because, again, I saw it with, I wasn't on the national championship team, but I played with Tony Rice. I played with the guys that played with him. And, there was nobody on that team that felt he did not have your back wherever it was. Again, not saying go out and, not saying go to the back of the brothers, but guys were out when they were out and he was out. Hey, if you got into a dogfight, I want him with me. When you know without a doubt that you can trust that person, you'll press a little bit more. You'll go the extra mile. You'll do a little bit more when you feel I've given my all. And that's going to come over the course of the spring and the fall ball, but also, those passing sessions. You know what you do when y'all go out and do some 7-on-7 without the coaches watching. Who's showing up and who's showing up for who? That's going to determine who that guy is going to be. Whoever is showing up consistently for this guy. Don't talk to me about it. I don't want to hear what you got to say about it. Good. I want you to be confident. Don't, you the guy, you say you the guy, believe you the guy. But the guy will be the one that not only the offensive unit falls in line behind, but the defense is going to fall behind him too. It's like, hey, I got his back. So I'm going to make sure I do a little bit more so I can get him the ball and give him another opportunity. It's those little things that we do and also the little things we don't do that tell you who you trust, who you believe in.
Lucky Podcast. Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. It can be more comprehensive because we don't have to go position by position. We expect them to be a top 5 defense once again. Secondary, they returned 3 of the 4 starters. Of course, Xavier Watts is going to be a top 75 pick in the NFL draft. But, we were wondering if we would ever replace Kyle Hamilton when he left. And here came Xavier Watts. So Mike Nickens does his thing. Somehow, some way, he finds the next one. So we don't know if it's going to be Luke Talmadge, Ben Minich. Is it the freshman Jadon Blair? Reds doesn't trust freshmen, so I just had to throw him in the mix. Is it going to be Kennedy Erlach? Who is it going to be at the safety position next to Don Shula? That's going to be found trustworthy to make this secondary one of the best secondaries in all of college football. But left, we're going to start with the place where you say Notre Dame has to step it up in recruiting and on the current roster to take that next step and be a national championship defense, and that is the defensive trenches. You have a question mark like Jason Onye, who was away from the team for personal reasons. They sorely missed him and the added depth that he would have added in the playoff run. He's returning this spring. You talk about Sean Sevillano, a big guy who spoke something different when he was a high school senior and said, I'm coming to Notre Dame to get to the NFL. You don't hear a lot of players saying, I'm coming to Notre Dame to get to the NFL. That's what he said. Does he make a move on the interior? You talk about Dawson and the addition of the kid from USC that they got on the inside for added depth. And then you're going to talk about Gabriel Rubio. But the promise is Bryce Young and Logan Thomas in their sophomore years on the outside, along with, you have to tip your cap to the job that Josh Burnham and Junior Tuilamaka did. You go down Botello and Trey Orey, and those two guys step right in and lead you to a national championship, you tip your cap. So Notre Dame is bringing a ton of talent back. We haven't even mentioned the linebacker room that just returns everybody except for, of course, Jack Kaiser, who I assume will be drafted in the NFL as well. A ton of talent coming back. However, a ton of leaders leaving as well. But have you seen enough from the young guys, and have they gone through enough, Reg, where you feel confident and trust a guy like Drake Bowen, or you trust a guy like a Don Schuler, or you trust a guy like a Jordan Botello to step up and now walk into that leadership role? Talk about that defense and whether or not you expect them to continue things, even with the part the parting ways of Al Golden taking his talents to the Cincinnati Bengals in the NFL?
Well, D-line, that's my biggest concern. We struggled, again, had a lot of injuries at the interior. Again, I like where the edges are, with Bryce Young and Boubacar Yari, Logan Thomas. You got some guys on the edge, but we've got to get push up front in the middle, and that's getting Rubio back. I think he's going to get Jason on. I think that's going to be probably the biggest, having some depth there. Donovan Hennish. So we need to get more out of the interior linemen in terms of getting push. As I said, because that's you hate to keep going back to it, but Ohio State, they were able to run the ball, and they were between the tackles. And that's because, again, that offensive line they had controlled the line of scrimmage. And you got to have guys up the middle, A gaps that can control on the defensive side of the ball, control the line of scrimmage. Prime example of that was the Kansas City-Philadelphia game, Super Bowl. Philadelphia beat that straight up. That was, physically, they dominated that offensive line. And it started with the interior line. So, I expect, hopefully Jason comes back, again, leadership, senior. Let's come back, get to work. Where's your head at? Donovan Hennish, where's your head at? Gabriel Rubio, where's your head at? Because I look at the edge guys, and it scares me thinking about like Bryce Young. I know his dad, but I told BY, just watching Bryce, dude, he's a freshman and he's blocking punts. His speed, his power, when he actually figures out what he's doing, that's going to be nasty. That's going to be nasty.
He's still a pup mentally.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't realize that he's a dog yet. Like
when that dog hits, they ain't ready for that. Ain't nobody ready for that. So I like where we are. Don't know enough about the freshman. I know he's just big. He's a space eater. Can he get movement up front? That's going to be the key with SHAUN. He's going to say, hey, how can we create disruption in the interior of with the center and the guards? Because the edges, I feel good about that rotation. And then the secondary, I don't know. You got some players just kind of catch your eye. Kennedy Urlacher, like over the course of the year, he kept showing up. Just instinctually, not saying he's going to be the guy, but I just saw he has a nose for the football. And he goes and gets it. You already got one safety. Shula's, you saw the growth in him. He's going to be that leader. But it's going to be interesting to see. Again, sorry, I can't trust freshmen. But, one of them may surprise us. Hopefully he does. But I do like, secondary-wise, man, that Moore kid, yeah, that's to me. He's gonna be clutch. I want to see Christian Grace. He seemed to regress a little bit to me. He has to really pick it back up if he's going to anchor that. Because we have some shutdown corners and more. And when Christian is on and not, I don't think he reminds me of one of the guy I played with, and he kind of seems to overthink some stuff. So But I feel good about, Mickens has shown that he can get it done. So that secondary, I feel he's going to take care of that. My only issue is with the linebacking core is not the level of talent, but the leadership. Because you look at this defense, you lost leadership at every level. Howard at the defensive tackle, Kaiser linebacker.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, and again, when you lose that type of leadership, and it's right down the center of your defense. So who's going to step up and take on that leadership role in the middle? And, from the linebackers, I'm hoping it's Kingston, because before he got injured, he was playing well. But to me, he's still a freshman because he didn't necessarily play a full season. So that's But anyway,
We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you through this.
I'm gonna get there maybe. But Jaden Sneed,
yeah,
I love the way he runs.
This is a show and tell season for Jalen Sneed. This is show and tell.
It is.
Osbury. I mean, you got some guys that can run. You got the linebacking. The talent there is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. But will they have will someone step up as a leader and bring it together? Because Jack Kaiser did a great job of, kind of setting the defense on the back end and up front. He knew where people were. He knew where to go. He got other people lined up.
Yeah.
He's going to be that guy for Notre Dame. Is it going to be Drake Bowen? Drake, he showed, some flashes, but he also, again, some mental errors here and there. Can he take that next step? Jalen Sneed, another one. Can he take that next step to become a leader? But I still keep going back to Kingston just because watching him, he when he gets it, he's another one that when he gets it, he has strong leadership characteristics. And he's great instincts from the linebacking position. And we're going to need some guys that can stay. And that was my only issue with Kaiser was he couldn't stay on. He wasn't an every down linebacker.
Right.
And that ability to cover down, that hurt us.
Yeah.
So
you took more the interception away from him though against Penn State.
No, true.
That was a great interception. Great coverage on his.
That's going to be the big difference. Can you find you're going to have more speed at that linebacker position, but will you be able to find the leadership? And it goes back to who will these guys follow, and you're going to get a whole spring, summer to find that out.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So before we get to JAVIAN Osborne and talk a little bit more, I'm starting to love Juwan Sider. He's a great follow on social media, bro. He is, he uses GIFs, he uses all types of funny things. We talked about the move they made with JAVIAN Osborne, and he put out the Ice Cube "Today Was a Good Day" GIF. You know what I'm saying? And if you notice, they have countered the recruiting staff. They have countered with all the Chad Bowden stuff. If you notice, every day they post turtles with the checkered flag, and you know that the tortoise run the race. I peeped it. I was like, I see what y'all doing. That's nice. I see the counter to Chad Bowden. Okay, he's the hare. And you're like, we play the long game here. The tortoise will win the race. I was like, yeah, I like that. I like that from the staff. I would like to say we have a special happy birthday. And this is a moment that Notre Dame fans, we all should know and love.
Dawkins wide to the right, Brown in the slot. Conley, the wingman on the right side. Three wide receivers right. They're going to go for two. Back to throw. Walsh, look. Has the time. Lost the ball. The pass is batted down. It's batted down by Turtle in the air. They win it for Texas. They're out in left.
Happy
PT.
birthday, Pat Terrell. Happy birthday, 15. Yeah.
That's my guy.
Yeah. I still love the story. He does a great Lou Holtz impersonation. Heck, all of you all can do Lou Holtz. That's crazy. I've never seen an entire team
The entire team can do it.
The
Yeah.
entire team impersonate the coach. You, Big O, PT, everybody. Everybody can impersonate Lou Holtz.
We got some real good ones again. That some stories though. Woo! Yeah. That old dude. He kept you on your toes. Now he kept you on your toes.
Talk about Notre Dame legacy. Yesterday, pot of gold. Notre Dame offered 2027 5-star wide receiver from St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Julius Jones Jr. Go watch his film, Jr. That's all I got to tip. Left, you'll cut it off after the first 3 plays. That's all I have to tip.
No, I like a legacy guy. We're good with legacy.
It's a few out there now that was like, okay, I'm rocking with it.
The legacy. That's our way of doing pseudo 5-stars.
And I'm gonna be looking. You talking about the receivers. I'm gonna be looking at JB's son. I think he's gonna surprise a few folks.
Jay Bettis.
Yeah,
he's gonna get some opportunity because of the injury.
Legacy kids, it's a pseudo 5-star. Legacy kids, pseudo 5-stars.
Hey man, they've been around
football. Corey Robinson Jr., David Robinson's son.
And Corey did his thing when he came in. Let's get to it. Reg, we want you right now. JAVIAN Osborne, Forney, Texas, left. Don't say anything about Texas players. I already know where you're about to go. Forney, Texas, Forney High School. He's a 4-star. He's rated as a 5-star. He's a top 100 kid. And Jawan Sider gets him on campus when they really weren't in his top 5. And from everything we're hearing from JAVIAN Osborne and reading the tea leaves of what Jawan Sider is saying on social media, Notre Dame did big things today. Reg, I'm going to let you tell us about this young man.
Okay. Nice top end speed. Especially if you're in Texas, you better be able to run.
Oh my goodness. Track.
Hey. Good balance.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Hey, okay.
How big is he?
He is 5'9", 185.
Oh, 5'9".
Oh, you see that jump cut?
5'9".
I'm 5'8". Okay, so
wait a minute. You wasn't standing next to the quarterback using that I formation.
Yeah. Okay. That's home run speed right there. Because you if nothing else, if you running and outrunning people, yeah, you doing all right.
Once again, he's still on campus. He was on campus today. He'll stay through tomorrow and watch practice. Top 100 running back.
I like it.
He's 5'9".
See, y'all not even peeping them subtle cuts.
I'm peeping it, Reg.
You don't even see it. It's so subtle you don't even see it. I'm liking that. Good change of direction and just the explosiveness through the hole. Yeah. He does a great job pressing the hole, but he's fast. He's pressed to the hole, fast through the hole.
And Reg, his upper half seems very quiet, even when he's making cuts.
It's nice job keeping square. You see how his ability to cut because he keeps his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, and he's able to move laterally without turning.
You like that at 5'9"?
Dude, that is.
You were bigger than him, though, Reggie.
How much does he weigh?
Let me give you the 5'9", 195. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's bigger than me. I was only 175 coming out of high school. So yeah, I was a junior when I was 195. Ooh, nice. Ooh, okay.
He has incredible balance. He really does. You mentioned that, Reg.
Stays. I mean, and again, he doesn't get over his toes. He keeps himself well balanced. Wow, y'all have no idea how hard it is to make that cut. Does a good job pressing the hole. I would like to see him pass pro though. That's what I do like about the new Notre Dame's new running back coach. He pressed the importance of pass protection.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like much of a blocker to me. They don't ask him to do it.
Yeah. That's why I say I would love to see, like I said, him in pass protection. You see how he maintains his shoulders are square to the line of scrimmage, and to make those jump cuts, that's beautiful.
I thought you would like his tape, Reg. I really did.
Great job, but like I said, he's stop and go. He reaccelerates really well. A lot of guys, when they stop their feet, and he doesn't stop his feet. A lot of guys, when they go to make a cut, they stop their feet. His legs continue to move, and when he makes his cuts, and he's constantly boom, boom, stop, start, but it's so explosive. Like I said, he's run track. He runs track. Got to.
I think he's been clocked at 4.38.
Just again, he does a great job of creating not a lot of body surface to hit. He stays compact. It's not a lot of body surface, so it's hard for guys to target him to get a good hit on him.
This is the last one here. JAVIAN, Forney, Texas, Forney High School. First day, great visit. He'll be back on campus.
He's a whole another year away.
Yeah. No, he's coming in next year. He's a senior. He's going into his senior season.
Okay. Oh, that was his junior year. No, that again, would love to see him, like I said, pass pro. Again, high school. Again, I don't necessarily know a whole lot about the competition in Forney, but just looking at him, great balance, great acceleration, does a great job pressing the hole, and love the jump cut. Big fan of the jump cut.
All right. Thank you for joining us tonight. We gave you the spring practice preview. They start practice tomorrow, 9:05. I'll make that trek, boy. I got to leave here because we're an hour behind. So, I got to jump on the road early. Hopefully it's not too dark. Get down there, and I'll let you guys know what I see. We thank the one and only Reggie Brooks for joining us tonight. Left, as always, we'll come and talk about it tomorrow. Before we get out of here, just one quick. Who wins the quarterback? Just give me the name. Who wins it, Left?
Kenny Minchie.
All right. Reg, who wins it?
I'm going to go with Steve and Jelly.
All right. Minchie and Jelly. Those are the predictions. Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow right here. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Make sure you spin it different.